More than 600,000 Israelis have been sent to quarantine since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic after being identified as at risk of contracting COVID-19 by the cell phone tracking program of the Shin and Israel police. The Shin receives names of confirmed COVID-19 patients from the health ministry and then uses a classified database of phone records to find anyone who may have been in contact with the patient for more than 15 minutes. Justine Zwirling and her family have been in quarantine at least 4 times since the pandemic started.
I came back on almost the last flight from the UK, so I went into isolation then for 2 weeks, and then my husband came back on the second to last flight from the USA, so then we were in isolation again. Then the whole country went into isolation, and then with the children we were in isolation a couple of times because we were informed that they had been exposed at school.
Politicians from the government coalition defend the use of the Shin for contact tracing, claiming that the surveillance has detected about 30% of the coronavirus cases in Israel. The Subcommittee for Intelligence of the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, has continually voted to extend the law authorizing the Shin program.
I understand the issue of privacy, but I think people want to know if there is a good chance that they have been next to someone with corona. And if we did a survey asking people if they would want to get an SMS telling them this, they wouldn't see it as an invasion of privacy. They would say, wow, tell me because I don't want to infect my family.
But some Israeli analysts are concerned about the threat to civil rights and democracy.
Using a secret service in order to conduct contact tracing, which means knowing the location, the history of the phone calls, the history of text messages, the history of web surfing, of all the citizens of Israel who are not suspicious or suspected in anything, that just might be sick. Doing this is a tremendous violation of human rights in Israel. I would say the most extensive one since the foundation of the country.
Some politicians are also concerned, but acknowledge that most Israelis don't mind the invasion of their privacy.
Israelis, the majority of them, go through an army service. We are living and have been living always under the concept of an existential threat and that we have to pay prices for our security. Israelis were the first, I think, to go through the routine of having their bags checked in the entrance, any entrance to any public space. So I think for Israelis, it's less inconceivable for them that the Secret Service is so deeply involved in their lives.
Well, personally, I don't feel bothered that I'm being tracked because I feel, A, we were made aware of the fact that we were being tracked, so it's not some secret or something, and B, it's for our protection and for our awareness.
For months, there have been growing street protests against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But while he has been attacked for alleged corruption and abuse of democratic principles, there has been little public opposition to his use of the security services in the fight against the pandemic. For VOA News, Linda Gradstein, Jerusalem.